Hey, Kevin.
Did you like how close I cut that?
That was I don't know if you could hear me, but I was trying to say loudly, okay, 40 seconds, 30 seconds. Oh, and he froze. In the best frozen position ever. Hey everybody. So the thing about going live is that you can't edit out the glitches. So Kevin is forever frozen. I don't even know if he knows he's frozen. I'll send him a text and just see if he knows that he's frozen or if he's still trying to talk. Maybe I look frozen to him. It's really good to see you guys. I know there are a few people here right now. Let's see, who do we got? Steph Berlin, Marguerite, and Renee. You're here. It's awesome. I don't know how to get a hold of Haley Luya, but too bad she's not here. You're frozen. There. He's really frozen. Didn't even go through his phone. Oh, and he's gone. So anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to my show. Anyway, I'll wait for Kevin to get back on, but I can also, fill the air with things. I probably can't. Hey, oh my goodness, we have a friend logging in. Hold on a second. Let's see here. So what I did, let me see. Here we go.
What a great way to start our 1 year
That was so
anniversary
perfect.
show.
It was so perfect. It's probably we've gotten worse.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably about how our first episode ever went. Is we glitched out a bunch of times. I think we recorded it 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times, yeah, we did.
Beautiful.
So, well, we'll do a couple of things. First of all, we'll explain the format of tonight. But hey, welcome to Old Fashioned Catholics. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kevin. Welcome everybody who's tuning in live. We have someone all the way across the pond from Germany, Steffi. Welcome. I'm just putting the last finishing touches on my old fashioned, and I'm using the same recipe I used from our very first episode last year, which is my self-named Northwoods old fashioned, which has maple syrup instead of simple syrup.
Actually, I can, let's see, I'll share a screen here. Hold on. Because
ooh, that's way too strong.
Where is it? Oh, window. Here we go. Nope, it's just totally gone. 1 second. I actually went and got there we go. Now I can share it. I share screen, window. Here we go. So last time, our very first episode, since we can't get the drink screen right now because it's not edited, is that up on screen right now?
No, it's it looks like it's waiting in the wings like one of our previous guests.
Oh, I see. I'm going to add it. How about that?
There it goes. So this is our drink list from our 1 year ago episode, right?
Yeah, first time. This is what we did. So I think Kevin and I both I made the exact thing that's there. So
the difference with mine this year is I accidentally put way too much bourbon in it. So pro tip for those of you who want to get into old fashions, if you put too much bourbon in it, cut it with more water. So I will be adding water to this in a moment.
Or just drink it. I guess the one difference for me, your head shaking. The one difference for me is just in celebration of the anniversary, I got a vintage barrel Evans Williams instead of just a normal.
Oh,
that's it. It's vintage. I haven't tasted it yet. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I guess I lied a little bit too. I actually used a rye whiskey in this for the first time.
Oh, yeah. So this is all falling apart. We need to cut. We need to try this again tomorrow. This is just bad.
No, I refuse. I'm staying up all night with you, buddy, and then I'm sleeping.
Yeah, you get to sleep. That's great. So anyway, first of all, we know what we're drinking here, and I wanted to explain to everybody. So we in honor of the 1 year anniversary, I just sent a text to everybody who has ever been on the show in the last year and just said, hey, I know it's last minute, but if anybody wants to come on tonight, here's the link to be on screen. And we might get a couple people stopping by. We have one already. She's sitting there, so we can let her in. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to remove that. And hey, Leah.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to the show, Leah.
Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, and what happens when you turn 1? Are you still considered an infant, or are you now at a tweener between infancy and toddlery.
I don't think you're a toddler. I think you're just a baby. You guys are just babies.
We're just
We've
babies.
moved from infancy to babyhood.
Yay!
Babbling babies.
Well, I'm glad you're able to come on.
I just wanted to, say that this has been a really great year for you guys. I'm so happy that you're still going.
How long do
Where
we
do you
have
go
you
out?
for?
I don't
5
know.
hours, 5 minutes?
I was like, I need to go to bed, but man, I really want to wish you guys happy anniversary, happy birthday. So Josh is actually still out. So when he gets home, I'm going to bed.
Okay.
Ah,
All right.
yes. And I
Are
guess
you-
he's not here to make you a fancy drink either.
He's not. He's having fancy drinks with friends, so he'll be in
So
soon.
what are you
nice.
drinking? What do you have?
I just, yeah.
What is that?
Waterloo sparkling water.
Water's
Oh,
good.
Nice.
Sorry guys. I'm sans alcohol tonight.
Okay, it's all right. It's not a problem. It's no big deal. Kevin, how was your day?
It was great. It was a pretty normal Thursday for us. I went out hunting just yesterday, but I was going to try and go out this morning, but I didn't have time with my bow because I don't have a rifle. And my neighbor, well, not my neighbor, but my friend just outside of town has been letting me hunt on his land. So I'm trying to get my first deer. So I don't know if I can call myself a hunter yet because I've never actually killed a deer. So maybe I'm just a looker.
Well, you've hunted. You just haven't
You're
gathered.
hunting.
You know, you
you're
haven't.
hunting. You're just not getting.
So-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
not
guess a bad
successful.
a bad hunter is still a hunter.
Yeah.
That's true. But
Yeah.
today was a good day. I am helping a group of sisters learn Gregorian chant singing, so that's really fun.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much looking forward to that. And they're really good. They're just like already good at it, and so
Well, they're sisters. So
yeah, like they sing it all the time. They sing chant every day.
I've seen
So-
Sister Act, so I know that they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're real good with clapping on 2 and 4. Yeah.
Which is an
Yep.
essential part of Gregorian chant, as we all
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of churches leave it out, but it's supposed to be in there in the rubrics.
2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it.
Leah, how was your day?
My day was good. I worked from home all day and got a lot done, had some staff meetings. Today was one of those days where it was really cold and windy and kind of miserable in central Minnesota. And I had an authentic moment of appreciation for working from home.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm really glad I get to like stay in my pajamas and work for the first several hours of the day. So it was a good day. Yeah.
I saw a guy right on my way home from work tonight that looked like he could have used our show so he could learn how to drink in moderation. I haven't seen this in a long time. He was right in my neighborhood and he was trying to walk across the street at the stoplight I was at. And it was in my neighborhood. And all of a sudden he's just kind of going side to side. I'm like, oh, he reaches for the walk button. And in trying to push the walk button, he just misses and falls completely into the person's yard, just like falls over. And then he like puts a thumbs up into the sky, like whoever
I'm
saw
okay.
me, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Keep driving.
That's awesome.
And then he pulled out a pack of cigarettes and just started.
Same crap every day.
Well,
Fell
you know,
down
I
again.
kind of feel that though. Don't you guys kind of feel that with like the weather turning and it's like, oh, winter's coming, like northern Minnesota. I kind of feel that. Like
I don't know. I think I'm pissing people off. If it's gonna be cold, I want snow. I want deep snow. I want it deep cold. Because if you're gonna be cold, you might as well like do it. And up here, it's International Falls. You'd think that everybody would just be like, yeah, bring it. But everybody I talked to, like when the first big snow hit last weekend when we got snow, I was like, yes, finally, right? This is great. It's beautiful. And everybody's like, ugh, I hate it. Like, man, I have very little positivity up here. And like they should, I don't know, move, I guess.
Man.
Move south.
So how was your day, Nick?
My day is the reason we'll do the topic we do tonight.
Redemptive suffering.
Redemptive suffering and bearing one of those burdens. It's been heavy is the great word. I don't know if he made it up, but Father Mike has said, people will say, oh, I don't want to be a burden. And he says, well, you are a burden. You're just a burden worth carrying. Like that concept of No, days are heavy and times of life are heavy. So it's just heavy right now. That's all. Yeah. But I did before we even start, I wanted to, people might have noticed that we have, where is it? Up in the upper, for me, it's the upper right. I don't know for you. We have a logo that a friend of mine made, who is a graphic designer and made it. And I wanted to have it on the screen big here because.
Can you make it big?
I can't. Well, okay. I can do this. Let's see. I can hit it so it's in the background of us, but I can't get us out of the way. Yep, I can't get us out of the way. So, I don't want that.
For me, it's just in the right corner of our window.
Yeah, it's just in the upper right corner. So what I can do though is I'll just open it on my computer.
It's pretty
awesome.
Sweet, you guys. It's really cool.
You need to see the little part on the bottom is the
fun
part.
I saw that. I pulled it up and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Some people might take offense to that. I think I asked Nick and I asked the designer if we think St. Peter would be offended, and they both said no.
Well, here I'm going to try to share this. It's still small. I can't for some reason, but I'm going to share the little window and do the best I can. But it is not in any way as sacrilegious as what I first came up with. So
yeah, Nick's first idea was real bad.
Well, but it was it though. Like here, can you guys see that? Nope, still not.
Oh, you have
to do the thing. That's right. Do the thing. All right, there. So it's old-fashioned Catholics. I can't zoom it up right now at the moment, but it's the keys of Peter, and there's a cherry, and then on the stem a little orange peel is wrapped around it, and I love it. It's in like Prohibition era like lettering there, the Catholic thing, and the flourish. I know Kevin had a little to do with the flourish, which I'm thankful for, but I just
flourish, Nick. Like theater.
Yeah, like theater. So anyway,
I didn't see the orange peel, so that's a nice little detail, fellas. Yeah, that makes it an old fashioned. You're right.
It's really fun.
Yeah. So we are unveiling it for our 1-year anniversary, and our thought is, Leah, tell us if you think this is a cool idea. We want to put it on rocks glasses, and anybody who's been a guest on our show gets one sent to them.
Yes. Hello, like does this retroactively apply?
Oh no. Oh
hey,
yes.
No, I'm on your show. You just said it, and I'm on your
Oh, you're currently on. That's right.
I thought you would give it a thumbs up if that were the case. So
yeah, like get it like etched or something. That'd be super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
printed. I don't know. However you do it, I don't know.
It'd be etched. Yeah, it'd be etched.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be fun to do it, have it etched, but in still really crappy dollar store rocks glasses. I think that'd be fun.
Heck yeah, because that really fits the tone of the show.
It does. We are on a home budget here.
Yes, we are.
Oh, I can appreciate that tremendously.
That's right. Efficiency. We're not going for extravagance.
I'm curious though. Can I ask you, why did you pick redemptive suffering for your 1st-year anniversary theme? It was like,
well, it was first. Just I don't know. Oh, I can't. I was talking to somebody about. Oh no, it was Jason and I were talking about. She heard something in I Believe in Love. Teresa of Lisieux's book or retreat or whatever, and she had mentioned something about just suffering in general, not redemptive suffering, but just coming from not having been Catholic and not, I mean, I always heard like Catholics love to suffer and like they, they love it, that, it's that's how they like earn their salvation and stuff. And I had it's such a foreign mentality to me that it's still something that is like dawns on me over and over in these waves. And she had brought it up that, that the times when you feel like you can't do anything ministry wise, are the times that are like Teresa says something like how sweet those times are, and Jason was like, no, they're not. It wouldn't be called suffering if they were sweet. So there's got to be some deeper reality to it. And I'm teaching this apologetics class for a Catholic high school, and apologetics and church history too, and it's got me kind of just deep in the catechism again, and just deep into the suffering that the church has gone through. And it's just it's been on my mind. So I just threw it out to Kevin because it was brainstorming is the only topic that came to mind. But then the more I've thought about it, I think it's a completely untapped. I think we don't go far enough with it. If I'm understanding things correctly, the mystical body of Christ and the level to which we can offer our sufferings like and bring redemption. So that's why I chose it, is because it's just been a few tough months for a bunch of different reasons, and then it got brought up. So that's why I tossed the title out there.
We thought it was fitting, Leah, really. It seems like the church is suffering greatly, and in my opinion, the suffering is being brought upon from the inside, and we are what's wrong with the church.
Yeah.
And there's major sickness in our ranks and in our leadership, and the church is suffering. So if all this is real, then there has to be a way for it to bring greater good. And I think it was Fulton Sheen who said it is hospitals that are filled with wasted suffering. Isn't that a Fulton Sheen quote?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, but it's a good one.
Yeah, and you think about he basically was remarking on all the suffering that gets wasted with people who are sick and dying because they don't do anything intentional with it. They just suffer and then die.
Yeah, and it's so funny because at least coming from where I came, and Leah, you're a convert too, right? So like, I don't know.
Josh is the convert.
Josh is the convert. That's right, Josh is the convert. So we need him on the show too.
So he helped her take her faith seriously, is what that means.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. He elevated me to another level.
So it's all about Josh.
It is all about Josh, always.
But I think coming in from the having been outside, which by the way, total side note, some guy named John Stoddard. Is that a name you know, John Stoddard?
It is.
There's a quote by him in the apologetics book I'm teaching, and it's so great. It said that the church is like a stained glass window. Like when you're outside the church, they all look gray, and it doesn't have much of it doesn't make sense from the outside. But when you're inside and the light shines, it's glorious, it's beautiful. And I'm like, and he says that's what the church is. It is tough to understand from the outside. Like the concepts are so woven with every other concept. It's such an intricately complete mentality and thought process that it is confusing from the outside. But when you're in it, like it's just so illuminating and gorgeous. So when it comes to the suffering, what I've started to wonder, a bunch of things. The first is just that, if we say we're in the body of Christ, so you and I are in the body of Christ, and the church suffering in purgatory is in the body of Christ, but they're in a different mode at the moment. And then the church triumphant, they're perfectly in the body of Christ. They are one with him. So there's nothing they don't know. There's nothing that they don't understand. And so we hear that with the communion of saints, so they're praying for us. But if that's true, then all of heaven knows when we suffer. Because I was talking to somebody just this morning who got in touch with me, is really struggling with a lot of depression, a lot of I can't beat it. It's been a long time. And being able to say but guess what? Saint Mother Teresa knows your name, knows you. If Christ knows you, she knows you, and is there in your suffering, is there, and you can't be alone in it because it's so written into the body of Christ. So when Christ was suffering, he knew each part of his body that was hurting. And so just first of all, the comfort that can bring. If you have any thoughts on that, just the idea, the complete totality of the body of Christ, if one part suffers, it all suffers. So that means all of heaven knows what you're going through and is interceding. That's the first thing. So any thoughts on that?
Give us some nuggets on that, Leah, because then we're going to kick you off and bring our next guest in.
No, I know. Is there somebody else on? Kick me off here. That's cool.
Well, we can have 10 people at a time. It's no problem.
If there's someone else.
We're going to bring him on, but we want to hear from you on suffering. What your thoughts are. Because
I think, so the only, every time I think of redemptive suffering, I have a very specific example that comes to mind. And it was in 2004, January. Josh and I were really blessed to travel to Rome to have our marriage blessed by John Paul II. And so we were able to have the spousal novelli, that very special blessing for newlyweds. And when we went up onto the area, you kneel down and you get to hold the Holy Father's hand and kiss his ring. And I remember looking up at his face and being almost taken aback at the obvious suffering, the obvious suffering that was happening. I was very unprepared for his state at that point in life. It was January 2004. He died the following year, a little over a year later. And I realized that I hadn't seen a picture of his face, a recent picture, because just, the condition of his disease and as his body was degenerating, it was just so clear that physically he was suffering so much, the pain, you could see pain, you could see all these expressions on his face. But I remember just being so struck by it because like behind all of it, you know, not being able to control facial muscles, not being able to control like anything, you know, his eyes, like the intensity of his eyes, like just looking at us, and like it felt like he was almost saying like, you're worth it. Like it's worth it. Like I'm going to sit here for the next 3 hours and meet every single person that comes to me because you're worth it. And like, I just remember feeling so much that like his suffering elevated that experience to something far beyond anything I'd ever, like most people in that much pain and that much fatigue would just be like, I'm out, I'm laying down, I'm out,
Yeah.
I'm old, I hurt. But like seeing that that is what redemptive suffering is to me. Like, I don't know, something about like he was able to like transcend that pain and channel it in such a way where it profoundly impacted me. And I was touched by it like forever.
Sheesh.
Dang.
Well,
Yeah.
because
That's a
at
pretty
any
powerful
point,
firsthand experience.
like he could have just been like, "Listen, I'm the Pope. I'm just gonna go lay down." Like, but he took that, I guess, seriously. That idea that no, I could push through it, and that you said that it was like he was telling you were worth it. That's just so huge because it wasn't like he was even saying like, no, it's for the good of the church. It was for the good of Leah and Josh. Like it, like right there, face to face. It was paining him to be there, but you guys were worth it. That's just so huge. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I looked at the line, and there was like a line of like a couple hundred people behind us. And I was like, I'm tired. I've been standing here for a couple hours waiting. Like, he's going to be here all day.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody go home. Like, leave him alone. Like,
leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
After us. Everybody go.
Everybody go home. We're done. We're good.
I am on a similar but very different note. Everybody has seen the clip of Pope Francis smacking that woman's hand.
Yes.
But like when I saw that, like that was because I'm a Benedict XVI. Like he's like dad type thing. Like, but Francis, I think in that moment was the time I was like, yeah, I like you. I pray for you. Because I mean, that was so real that you're like, yeah, that would be terrible. Like people just gripping on you all the time. Yeah. I think that was the moment where he wasn't saying you're worth it, but where he was just like, also just a human who was in mild suffering from the people around him.
Yeah. Have you seen The Two Popes? I'm totally just throwing that in there. Have you seen it yet? The Two Popes?
No, I haven't. Have you?
What, that crap propaganda show?
You know, actually, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I mean, it's kind of sweet. You're like, oh, I kind of hope Benedict and Francis were like that with each other. Like, I mean, I hope there is that authentic friendship because you should watch it. It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure Antonio Banderas' portrayal was spot on.
Wait, Antonio Banderas is not in it, is he? He's not in it. What are you talking about? It's not
I'm just messing with you.
It was Anthony Marian.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins. Yes, it was Anthony Hopkins. Yes, he was.
I thought it was Cheech.
Oh, I don't know.
Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No.
She's good.
And
she played.
He has to rescue her. It's set in northern Mexico.
The moment where the Pope is going through all those lasers, and having to like,
yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
Yeah. I did see it.
Well, okay. If you have someone that you're trying to bring in, I'm happy to step aside.
Bring them on.
No, you just stay here.
You can stay.
Hey, hello, Mr. David
Dr. David L. Gray.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, Leah.
Hi. We've never met. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
This is great.
I just wanted to hop on. I just came from dinner. I had an old fashioned there. It wasn't that great. But want to come on here and tell you guys happy birthday. Congratulations on the year.
We need your vote on this because Leah said a resounding yes. So we want to know if we put our logo on a rocks glass, would you like us to send you one?
Of course.
We just had a logo made and we're really proud of it, obviously.
Is that it in the corner right there?
Yeah, real small.
Yeah. I'll share a slightly bigger version of it. I can't seem to get it to zoom, but it's here. Hold on. There and there. So there it is. Man, I can't get that to be larger, I guess. There. Does that do it?
That made it bigger.
Oh, there we go. I see what's going on here.
So we should tell everybody. So my initial suggestion was shut up. In my head, the logo was a rocks glass, like it would be in the logo. And then in the center of it would be the Sacred Heart, because that's my favorite like icon. Just it would be a rocks glass and the Sacred Heart. And I was like, yeah, they're gonna love this junk. And then Kevin got back to me. He's like, I don't think that's right. I don't think you can put Jesus' Sacred Heart like on a glass or whatever. And I'm like, oh, all right. And this is what they came up with. They took the keys of Peter and turned it to a cherry and an orange peel twisted around it. I don't know.
I think I like that.
All right.
Where's the bitters?
They're on the floor below the logo. You can't see them.
Written into those swirls is Angostura. It's just written in. Yeah.
Hey, David, do you have any nuggets for us about redemptive suffering?
No, I don't. Is that
How about this? Do you guys think that in part Pope Benedict resigning from the office of Pope was due to the immense amount of suffering he was witnessing all around, including not just limited to himself? Your completely uneducated opinions is what I want right now.
I was gonna say, I don't have much to go on.
So Pope Benedict resigning was you're tying that into redemptive suffering, what he's going through now?
In a way, maybe he's suffering for the church is one thought I've had over the last couple of years. Another thought is that he looked at the sickness inside of the church and it was too great for him. I mean, I don't know. I'm just an idiot, but I know you have thoughts on that, David.
Yeah. I mean, I like that approach. I mean, it's so much less nefarious than, some other things that
some
are
of the other options, right?
About here. Yeah. As far as, the Gallon Mafia and all this stuff and him having to resign because he's getting blackmailed, all these things that, So yeah, I think that's a pure and innocent way to consider it. It's the way I would like to think of him, as being like a student of his and reading all his works and knowing how smart he is and
what a genius.
How he writes theology on his knees. It sounds more like him than somebody that's just willing to get bullied around and things like that. But I like
as someone who lived through the Nazi youth and got out of it. And the things he went through in his life, I don't think he's someone who gets bullied around very easily, is my sense.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case. I really never really computed logically. But I like the conversation that you all and Haley were having, St. Pope John Paul II, because one of the criticisms I don't like about him, you see it every time it comes around on his feast day. There's some quarters at a church would like to say, oh, he shouldn't have been made a saint and all this stuff. And because of he was the Francis of his time. He had his own Pachamama moment. But when you talk to exorcists, I mean, he's like one of the most powerful intercessors that they call upon right now. And so we should never critique somebody who suffered so much at the end of their life like that. I mean, that's purgatory. They went through their purgation towards it. When you go through that type of stuff, when you do it in grace. So yeah, I mean, I love redemptive suffering. Part of me wishes I never, I want to go straight to heaven, right? But that may require, suffering on earth. So I don't know if I want that.
I know. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of pain and suffering on earth. Like straight up, you guys.
So I have this weird curiosity. I wish there was a way to know, like stupid, like, all right, God, so which is going to be worse? Like, if you send it now or if it's after, like, which is worse? Because I'll take the other one.
Purgatory. Purgatory is worse. I think Purgatory is worse. I think it's worse than Purgatory. I don't know.
Is it though?
I think so. I mean, you hear about like the cleansing fires of hell as we like to get through Purgatory.
But like, think of the days that we can have here, how cleansingly, crappily fiery they are here. Like, I don't know. Like, things can suck here pretty bad too. I don't know.
But like cleansing fire, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather take like.
I seem like, but you would have more people praying for you in Purgatory, right? I mean,
well, do we though? Because then all of heaven is praying for you now as well. So, I mean, you have more perfect people praying for us now.
That's
my gosh, it's my friend. Hallelujah! Oh my goodness, I never seen her in person.
Wait, you know her?
I mean, basically, we're always in the same live streams, and she's in my live streams. I feel like I know her.
Awesome. Yes, I love when we can bring people together.
So, before we go too far, you're asking what people are drinking. I'm not drinking because I'm like
You never are.
20
You always tell us this.
I'm 20 weeks pregnant.
Well,
so
20. Okay, congratulations.
but this, can you see?
Is that
Yes.
kombucha?
No.
Oh,
Is that like Mary soda
the
pop?
Blessed Mother.
Our Lady of Mount
Mary
Carmel
Pop.
Brown Ale.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
And then
yes,
I have a bunch of magnets. So this is called Tridentine Brewery.
Is this the one
They
out of
are
Chicago?
yes. Yes, they are
Oh.
right outside of, and I had this one. It's this, I tried this one. I didn't get to drink the whole thing, but my husband liked it too. It's the Des Ere. I can never say the Latin.
Dies Irae.
Yes, that one. It is
Wow.
a stout, and it was really good from what from the little bit that I tried.
And hopefully that day never comes for us, which translates the day of wrath.
Yes.
That's
So
okay.
there's a Blessed Carl. I think this is a Vienna lager.
Mm,
So
I'm
if
off.
any of you, I know the guys, they sent me this. So if any of you would like some, I know people.
All right.
She knows
So
the
the
guy.
deal is you get them to send us some of their cool swag, and we'll send them some of our sweet glasses with our logo on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll do that. I'll see what I can do for that.
All right. And I will gladly drink their beer on Old Fashioned Catholics.
Yeah, they have so many.
qualms.
What was so this is another one. It's their winter ale.
Oh, that's the one I would drink.
That's awesome.
Come
Yeah.
on, Venerable Faulton Sheen. Let's
That's
go.
Okay.
great.
But then this one's kind of funny too.
Are you their marketer? Like, is this what?
No, not technically, but I like their stuff, so it's funny.
Awesome.
I can't really market something I can't drink.
So Haley,
Go ahead, Dipstick.
oh sorry. So did you call me dipstick?
I said, go ahead, Nick. Dipstick.
I think you said go ahead, dipstick.
Pretty sure he said
Anyway.
the other one.
I think so. Haley, you had texted you have beer for us from a Tridentine brewery. It's a Catholic brewery. David, aren't you near Chicago?
No, he's St. Louis area.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were near Chicago.
Chicago, no.
All those cities
Chicago.
south of Minnesota just blend together, right, Nick?
Yeah. Yep. It's all the
Ooh.
same. It's all the
Speaking,
South.
but so you guys are all in. Do you know who's coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin?
Nope.
On the 11th?
Bon Jovi.
Better.
Okay. All right.
Vegano.
I would say better. I personally would say better.
Who's
I'm
coming?
intrigued.
Cardinal Burke is going to be at Our Lady of Guadalupe
Really?
shrine.
Well, isn't he on the president of the board or something? He was very instrumental in the shrine in La Crosse being built.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Is he gonna
But
say
he's going to be there on the 11th.
Very
But-
cool.
Let's
I don't
go,
know how many
Nick.
people are supposed to know that, but I know it, so I'm
Let's-
telling other
Let's go,
people.
Nick. Well, at least 100 people will know it now.
Yeah. Maximum 100 people.
Well, I did invite some other people in here because I told them I was going to be talking about the brewery. So
I've always wanted to see Cardinal Burke and meet him. That's
Well-
not that far.
no, it's not.
So what's the odds of getting Cardinal Burke on the show? I mean,
Nick, we just have to ask him. We just have to
Okay.
get Haley to ask him.
Oh, no, I don't know him.
What day is that?
December.
It's on
11th.
December 11th.
Oh, okay.
It's the feast day weekend. It's Our Lady of Guadalupe that weekend.
Yeah.
It's a big celebration at the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
is anyone on screen right now going to that?
Now I am.
I'm seeing what I can do. I don't know. We'll see.
That's that would be really great. Now there's a guy who's had some suffering in his life.
No.
Yeah, he was just hospitalized last year with like big
Yeah.
time COVID, wasn't he?
And not even last year, like
Oh, this year.
2
No,
months
that was
ago.
really recently. Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's and he gets all sorts of flack from everybody left and right.
Anthony
Oh,
said he's
Anthony.
doing the
See,
donut.
Anthony
There you go.
knows. Anthony's in with me. So there is a guy you guys should check out, Jeremiah Bannister. David knows who this is.
The Paleocrat
Um,
Diaries guy.
Yes, he's on Meaning of Catholic. Nick, you would probably find him hilarious.
I'm gonna look him up.
But he's on Meaning of Catholic. He just did a Enthusiasm series a little while ago. He's doing another series on the secular age right now. It's really good. And on Father Lasance. So he's doing, yeah.
What does he do? I never really. I was going to have him on either my radio show or my podcast. I really don't understand what he does or what he's talking about, but he's like so entertaining. I mean, that's why if you see me in a live stream, over there, Haley, it's just because I just think he's funny and he has like this personality. But I have no idea what he's talking about whatsoever.
So he's usually reading from a book. So right now he's reading Father Lasance. And it's the Anthony, you know the title better than I do. The prayer, it's like prayers for men and women, and he's going through like how to be a holy man and woman. This Father Lasance is a holy priest who should have his cause open for canonization, because apparently he's very, very holy and he's written a lot of really good stuff. But I'm too simple to know any of this.
So, David, that's pretty good if a guy just reading a book on a live stream.
That's what I was going to say.
Imagination. That's impressive.
Right. So Jeremiah, he's sitting there, he's reading these texts, and then he turns to the camera and he comments on them and he laughs or says something profound. He goes back and reads some more. It's like whole, and he has the whole background. He has the beard or whatever. I mean, he's just a character. It's really interesting.
And if you want your like socks rocked, you should check out his conversion story. It's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So crazy.
He sent it to me. That's
awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll have to check him out. Thanks for sharing that.
No problem.
Thank you, Haley.
No problem. Last thing.
Anthony says he writes for 1 Peter 5.
Yes, he does.
Right.
And I will say, the guy that you had on a few months ago, the guy from RTF, I'm terrible with names.
His name's Mike.
You had Mike on here from RTF?
Oh man, that was 10 months ago. It was one of our greatest shows. Like we talked for like 2 hours, David.
Like he's like they're like in the middle of a crap storm.
He needs prayer. He needs a lot of prayer
right now.
Yeah, it's kind of I never expected this, but it's kind of weird to see people who I've run into in the Catholic world going to battle against other people in the Catholic world. I
know, that's terrible.
Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah. And I mean, we're not a gossip show, but yeah, there's like the church is suffering, you guys. The church is suffering big time.
I was just wanting to bring it up to say that he needs prayer. That was all. That was the only reason I was, because he's in the thick of it. He needs a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do. And
I mean, yes, that's a given, but
we don't. I don't know how often I've heard or gotten catechesis on the church suffering. So the church triumphant, the church militant, which is all of us on earth, and then the church suffering, which is everybody in purgatory. And I always come back to that quote from Our Lady of Fatima when she was talking with, I think it was Lucia about asking about somebody and her basically saying, yeah, he's going to be in purgatory till the end of the world. And
that's Amelia.
Yeah. And I was
her name is Amelia, and I pray for her all the time. It's my daughter's name.
Like, that's crazy that there are people that are just, they're there. They got no one to pray for them, and they're going to be there a long time.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the actual quote is it's, if you don't do something about her suffering, she will be there until the end of the world. So it's Amelia Des Neves, and yes, pray for the repose of her soul.
That quote helps to put that more in context, because I've always wondered, because I was taught as a kid, pray for the lowest soul in purgatory, for the person that's like least prayed for, that's going to be there the longest. And I'm always like, well, why would I pray for the one that's going to be there forever, no matter what? Like, she's already stuck there. I'm going to pray for someone else who's got a shot at heaven.
Yeah. And
That's
I think
what
that's why our mother told us about her, because like if nobody does anything, she's stuck. So, people praying for her. can
Okay,
help.
so then bouncing back to the topic then of like redemptive suffering and bearing one of those another's burdens. So then when we pray for people in purgatory, or we pray for anybody, then the
Which we should be doing this month,
because
because it's
It's
the month of November. It's November, the month for the Holy Souls.
You guys,
Nick, you're such a
he's
convert.
still like a neophyte. Yeah.
2008, okay, 2008, and then we adopted kids. I don't know what's going on. I'm learning.
No, so
All
the month of
Souls Day.
November is the month for Holy Souls. So you get
Yeah,
extra.
okay.
You're supposed to get a plenary indulgence if you go to mass, go to confession, and pray for Holy Souls at a cemetery. My suggestion is to pray at a Protestant cemetery, just because they don't get those that often. Or a Mason. There's a Mason cemetery up the road from me.
You back off, Haley. I'm just kidding. I just know the
David and I
Masons.
understand that those people need prayer.
I'm just kidding. I had a friend who he's a priest, and when he went to Martin Luther's grave, and he said, so when I was there, I prayed for his soul, and then I asked him to pray for mine, just in case. You just covered all the bases. I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's a good way to go about it.
I just like David's face in that one.
No, okay. So, but the question is, so when we say like pray for the souls in purgatory, so like the Catechism talks about how the worst moral moment in all of history was when they killed God, like when they killed the Son of God. But because it was offered, it became the greatest moment in all of eternity because of that offering of itself. So, like just praying for the souls in purgatory, like then that doesn't just only take the form of just saying Lord, I pray for the souls in purgatory type thing, but like in the Catholic world, the mystical level of it is like, actually you can, if I understand it correctly, as a newborn Catholic from 2008, that you can take anything, especially the things which are hard, like the sufferings that you experience, and you can offer them for anybody, but that you bring redemption. Like redemptive suffering is because Christ brought redemption by his suffering, by an offering of it. Then we're supposed to make up what is lacking in the sufferings of Christ, and we can do the same. I'm going to offer it, big or small. If I offer this, then it will bring redemption to somebody, whether or not.
Yes.
So do I understand it correctly that no matter what it is, if you offer it, it can bring redemption through your suffering?
Yes. So 2 examples from saints. Mother Teresa would offer dishes. So like each dish she would wash would be for an intention, like for either souls or for a prayer intention. Saint Faustina would at the end of her life, she couldn't get out of bed, so the only thing she could do was like sew, like stitch things up. So each stitch with her needle was offered for souls.
Man, that
for
is
the salvation of
disheartening.
souls. Yeah.
That is so extra.
Yeah. So yes,
I
all
ain't
of that.
doing, man, I got work to do in my life.
But you don't. But you don't. Honestly, if you offer this show right now for the Holy Souls in Purgatory, this show is now officially saving souls.
Is it though? Is it?
David, speak.
Yes, it's work.
I think it is. I think it is.
No, David,
I
what
was
do you
just
say?
making a joke about the quality, right? Is if it's
And David is gonna have to leave. Sorry about that, guys.
He's gone. He's back.
I don't know what happened. He glitched
Where's
out.
my
He was gone.
popcorn? I need some popcorn now because this just got dramatic.
I like how I like how she points out even the small things, right? Because I always think about offering up the painful things, like at mass when I don't use a kneeler, painful, for the knees, things that are arduous, right? But yeah, I guess the minor things, the dishes, so I guess the I guess it's not about quality; it's about a lot of intention, perhaps. So,
Well, and I think that that makes sense to me because maybe for you, David, like something that causes physical discomfort, it speaks to you. Therefore, it is giving more of yourself as an offering than if you were to offer a dish for you.
Right.
It's like Abel gives his best lamb.
Yes, exactly.
Because that is what was important to him that he was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would probably be like swearing as I'm doing every dish instead, and like then that prayer would like end up like going Nick's way, and he doesn't need that.
yeah.
But I think the difference between David was right. Like, it is the intention. So the difference between Cain and Abel, Abel gave his best lamb. Cain just gave something. He didn't give it doesn't say he gave his first fruits. It doesn't even say he gave his best. It just says he gave grain. So he just gave without thinking about, without intention.
Well, and the mix is, though, the balance seems to be that it's a mix of the heart and also the degree. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, you could have good intentions, but they might be, like, not as pure. And so you give a ton and it doesn't mean as much. But at the same time, it doesn't negate those who have like given much. That's what I'm finding the beauty of the church is like, there's no set rubric. Like there's no box. It's so that's the thing. I think that's from the very beginning of the show. It's so mystical and so like fundamentally like beyond our comprehension that like it just, well, again, Father might quote, but he might have taken it from somewhere, but like nothing offered to God is ever wasted. So that it means something if you offer everything, and God can make it mean something if you offer little, because his prerogative is just grace and mercy and redemption. So it seems like, because the widow's mite was small, but I guess it wasn't small. That one doesn't work because it wasn't small. It was the last thing she had. So that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But the abilities, I think that the grace to recognize opportunities to suffer in your life, right?
Yeah.
Do women just naturally have more opportunities for redemptive suffering as mothers?
Leah.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I mean, you would say so, but I mean, right now, men have higher levels of depression. Men die more often at work. Men go to like more dangerous jobs and get injured on those jobs more often. So
it's weird though, because I would push back because, like, when the curse happens, the punishment of sins is like pain in childbirth and then sweat of your brow. Like even that written into like the femininity, and Leah, you can speak to this, but like the pain that you experience every month, yes, has been lessened by modern modernity.
I wrote about this in my book because I think that there is a tendency for men to have this illusion of control, that they can like kind of like control the natural elements in the world, and women are under no such illusion because we understand like we have a monthly surrender. Like our body is constantly like we can't control it, like it breaks down, and your fertility is a monthly reminder that you're not in control, that God and nature are much greater than you. And so I think that sometimes men don't recognize their vulnerability. I don't know. I think women have a little bit more of an in-tune ability to just kind of surrender, like that fiat. I think men sometimes will fight it. There's a lot there.
Yeah, I know. And I always see, so it's not, I don't like to pit the two genders against one another. I think there's enough of that.
Right.
There's I think we both have different types and different levels of suffering. I think that we have our suffering is great and powerful, and men have their own type of suffering that is great and powerful. And they're different. They're not the same kind. So to say that one is better than the other is I don't see that. I think men and women both have equal amounts of great suffering in their lives.
But as Catholics, do we consider Mary's suffering the par excellence of suffering? Right.
For humans, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
For
David,
humans, most definitely.
speak more on that.
No, no, I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
okay, fair enough.
No, because it's
Never mind, he's out. I don't know what happened to his feed. I'm not sure.
You're
He just keeps kicking him out.
I'm just kidding, Dave.
no, I just think it's the paradox. I mean, because her prophecy came true that all generations will call her blessed. Yet at the same time, it's the suffering that she endured, and what was prophesied, the suffering that she would endure. So it's just an amazing paradox when we consider Mary, her
Well,
suffering.
Yeah.
then again, so
her
I think
glory.
going back to, isn't that, yeah, that's so great. I think that gets at that mystery of redemptive suffering, that she would be the pinnacle of that, because it would be, she would suffer so greatly, but at the same time be so blessed, be so revered. And like I have a bunch of people who Marco Polo me about the faith, and I have a person who she's going to be Catholic soon, but she's been Marco Poloing me about the Marian doctrines just in the last day and a half. And her thing was like that idea, what I was trying to get across to her is like, we as Protestants especially, we lack that idea and understanding of what all that Mary encompasses. Like without worshiping the entirety of humanity that Mary encompasses, like all of with her suffering brought about the redemption of the world. Like her spear through the heart was because of her own son. Like that greatness was at the same time her pain, and her yes was at the same time a stab in the heart. And like we can learn so much from that, because she was both things at the same time, like David was saying.
Yeah.
Just
So,
the
gentlemen,
nature of it.
gentlemen and ladies, before I suffer myself, I must gather my and go collect my wife. So
Right.
it was.
Thank you for joining us, Mr.
Thank you. It was so
David
nice to meet
Gray.
you, David.
Yeah, I hope to talk
So
to you
nice.
guys soon again.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
to see you,
God
David.
bless,
Thank
David.
you.
Nice to meet
Someday,
you.
may we meet in person, and we will make you a not crappy old fashioned.
I appreciate that. Good night.
All right. Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Whoops. There you go. Sorry.
I
Was
should
it something I
probably
said?
I should probably go too pretty soon here, because this is redemptive suffering. I'm like,
You go when you
halfway.
need to. You just have to say it. We're not going to kick you off like we kicked off David 3 times.
You might. Yeah, you will. I know Nick. He'll kick me out.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I have the mouse is over, the cursor is
know.
over your picture. I'll copy so fast.
I've been waiting to just be like exited.
Hey, can I finally pick my beef with you, Leah, since it's been festering in my soul for
We have a
months
beef?
now?
What?
Yeah.
What
Can
is
you
the beef?
please, so I can be at rest, tell me why you spelled holistic incorrectly on your book title?
It's not
Oh.
incorrect. It's not incorrect.
But it is. But it
okay.
is incorrect.
It is not the secular spelling of holistic. I agree.
But it is misspelled.
No. Well, no. Au contraire.
Okay, now I will listen.
No, au contraire. What it is referring to is holism, and holism being a person being fully integrated, complete whole. And so,
but is holistic spelled with a W a word in the dictionary?
it is now. Heck yeah. It is. You can find it. It does exist. It's often said a variation off of holistic with an H, but we're not talking holistic with an H. Like, we're not talking like Eastern integrative medicine. We're talking like fullness of human identity. Oh, shut up.
It is. This is Leah's book.
I've
Holistic
been
Foundation.
angry. I've been angry.
Thank you
at
for
this
the plug.
book
I
title.
appreciate that. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Is
is
it
on
a
Amazon.
word? It is now.
It is now. Heck yeah. And that's the whole point of the book, is reclaiming language, because feminism right there, like, what does feminism mean? Love for women? Not exactly. So it's all about rhetoric and reclaiming rhetoric. And we have the right,
Yeah,
you know,
you have a
to do
very
that.
good point there about, using wordplay to reclaim things that have been hijacked from us.
Well,
And
and
by
honestly,
us, I mean,
a lot of,
by us, I mean everyone of goodwill.
yes. And the word holistic, honestly, with an H, has been a little bit hijacked by Eastern medicine. So I think we need a redemption of that phrase as well.
Yep. And well, we have it. It's kind of official here.
Yep, there it is.
Spell check doesn't change it. Look at that.
Boom.
Mikey
You
Joe, I don't
changed
know you,
the
Mike. I like
lexicon.
you.
So,
Let's
Wait a
Leah,
second.
just
We
I
have
know you're leaving.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I would love to meet you in real life.
So I'm assuming you've heard of Carrie Gress.
I know Dr. Carrie Gress. She is beautiful.
And I'm not comparing you two. I saw your book. I used to go to Bible study with her, and I didn't realize who she was until after I moved. So
it's my husband. I'm sorry.
Josh.
You're fine.
Last time he was on the show with me. Hey. We're just saying goodnight right now.
Good night. She's just kicking herself off after justifying the spelling of her book title.
No, but Haley, Dr. Carrie Gress, I'm a huge fangirl. The fact that you know her personally, I'm a little bit jealous right now because I only know her virtually. So
yeah. I was like, I wonder. I like to connect people, so I'm like, I wonder if there's a way. Like, I would love to
connect me more to her. I love her.
Leah, if you will email oldfashionedcatholics@gmail.com, I'll connect you and Haley.
I can do that.
Perfect.
I can do that. Any parting words? It's their birthday episode. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Josh. It was a pleasure when we had you on, and we know you had enough drinks to cover your wife not drinking this evening. So
yeah. Yep.
I said he's not drinking.
Exactly.
He's sending us a glass.
That's great.
Way to mansplain, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Happy
We're
birthday.
keeping that up there.
And for the people who don't know, mansplaining. I'm just kidding.
And on that, I'm leaving. Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, so question.
Yes. For who?
In the title,
The world
of the episode, bearing one another's burdens. So there's a book by Charles Williams. He was one of the Inklings. He wrote with C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, and he has a book called Descent into Hell. And I took a course in Bible college on the Inklings. I would love to go back now from this point of view, but we read Descent into Hell by Charles Williams, and there's a ton in it. And I would recommend it to people. It's super he writes really flourishy and really poetic, which I really love. It's not necessarily a better read than like Lord of the Rings, and it's not a better read than obviously Lewis per se. But there's a couple of themes that run through the book, and one of them, and he plays it out, and I don't do it justice, but the whole book revolves around this little village in England, and they're doing a community play, a community theater. And the director, Peter, he's talking to one of the actresses at the end of the night. And for whatever reason, she seems uncomfortable and nervous to leave. And he, sort of probes her for it and what's going on. And she eventually confesses to him the craziest thing, that when she walks home at night, she has been encountering her actual real doppelganger, her actual self, not like somebody who looks like her, but when she walks down the street, she encounters a physical human being who is herself, but walking towards her. And for whatever reason, it's terrifying her. And there's a whole bunch of subtext in that. And she's explaining this to the director. And she's like, I'm overwhelmed with terror going home at night. And I'm not sure what to do about this. I don't want to leave because I'm scared. And he says, well, would you let me be scared for you? And she said, what does that even mean? Well, can I be afraid for you in your place? And she's like, I don't think that's the way it works. And he has this little paragraph. He talks about, well, it seems to me that when Jesus said to bear, I guess Jesus didn't say it, but when in Galatians, when he says to bear one another's burdens, we always take that as a very trite thing. Like, well, okay, I'll pray for you type thing. And he says, but it seems to me that it's more like when somebody carries a parcel. If I'm carrying the parcel, you can't be carrying it as well. So would you let me carry the parcel? And she, like, to humor him, basically says, yeah, okay, fine. Like, whatever, sure, I'll do that. And he says, okay, good. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to be scared for you. And so she walks out the door and he goes upstairs and he walks into his room and collapses in terror. And she walks home just fine. And like one of the aspects of that he's getting at, it's obviously like it's not, what he's getting at is that I think we don't take it literally enough what our offering of self can actually truly bear for somebody. And it's been kind of just waving over me recently. It's connected to the redemptive suffering thing, that it seems to me that there would be a place for that in our lives to say, so-and-so is going through this time. Like I used to get migraines really bad, and I used to say, okay, Lord, then when I'm having this 2-day migraine, then somebody else not have that? Or can somebody with a brain tumor not? Is there something that I'll take this next 2 days, but can somebody else not? And that's one of the main themes in the book. So I kind of wanted to probe to see like thoughts on that concept. I know Kevin, like when we brought it up, like Kevin knows a little bit that's going on in my life, but just has that concept ever entered in where like that reality of I can actually bear the burden, not just like aesthetically or like in a like an abstract way, but is there a place for that where you just say, no, I'm going to take your burden, and maybe that would play out then just saying like, I know somebody is hard up for money right now, then I'll be hard up for money so that they can be okay this month type thing. Kevin first, like what are your thoughts on that? And then we can play it around.
My thoughts, that has come to mind because it's something that has made me wonder to what extent it's possible. Like I almost want a real world extreme example to happen in front of me, because it seems like I'm finding out more and more all the time how connected we are, the church militant, with the church suffering and the church triumphant. It's like they're just on the other side of the room all the time, but they're just always right here with us. And so you hear, crazy things, happen, and we had a whole episode on miracles, and it makes you wonder, okay, is it possible for, and to me, it would, if it is possible, it would be possible to the extent of your closeness in relationship to someone, because I think that matters. Like the people who we are closest to, we have the most influence over and the most ability to get to heaven, starting with spouse and kids. So can you take on your kid's anxiety attack? I'm going to use an extreme example. Okay. So like your kid is like wigging out. Like, is it possible for you to, if you're holy enough to say, God, let that happen to me, and it does, and your kid's fine? I don't know. Like, that's a question I've never explored before.
Well, because the reason I asked this, and here I'm going to put this up from Paleocrat. He said, thank you for praying for those with brain tumors, even just keeping them in mind. My daughter Sammy died at 12 years old of anaplastic astrocytoma, so it's a big deal for me. Thank you. So then it begs the question then, not specifically, but would there have been any point in the year? So I had migraines from when I was 12 years old until now. Would there have been any point where my willingness to just have the migraine could have helped your daughter Sammy? Like what? And so the reason I say this is because, like Kevin was saying, proximity. So physically, like I know of people who are suffering. So if I give to them of my finances, I have fewer dollars, they have more, and that balances out. And I always think of money, but like in anything that somebody close, you can actually tangibly suffer for them. You can be weakened so they're stronger. But then on the spiritual realm, it seems to me, and again, I know I could be wrong, even if it sounds cool, but it seems to me upon thinking that I can just say to God, listen, my head's killing me today. If this headache can help anybody, please let it, and just move on and never need to know if it did or not. It seems to me a principle that would work, but I also don't know if that's true.
Yeah, no, that you can't know exactly. So like if you're offering it for a specific person in purgatory, you can't. First off, you don't know if that person is still in purgatory. God will use your prayers and intentions, whether you Like, and I think you guys know this, like whether you, like whether he knows something better that it needs to be used for, or whether he uses it for that intention. God knows. Like God is all knowing. So if he is loving your sacrifice and wanting to give it, yeah, I think he can totally use it for those people.
Because there was
like,
the band Sixpence None the Richer. I don't know if you remember them. They were,
Yeah.
So
mid-90s.
kiss me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was,
I-
I don't know. That was a bummer that was the song that got famous, because that was their least. But anyway, they took the band name from a quote by C.S. Lewis. And he said,
Yeah.
when
Yes.
a little kid gets his allowance and offers it, offers it back to the dad for some good reason, the dad he's sixpence none the richer, but it means so infinitely so much more because
Yeah.
the child offered it back. And so in a certain sense, you could say that, I don't know, if I offer it to God, he's going to use it.
Yes.
Even if I offer it in ignorance, he's going to use it.
Well, I mean, but even offering it, say I'm offering it for this person. In Catholic speak, that's God, here's this thing I'm offering for this person. You take it and you do with it. Like, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what Catholics are saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Here's something.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Father John Hollowell. Yes, he's still and he's actually decided, like, through all this, apparently this has made him a very holy man. Father Hollowell has is now off of all media. But yeah, his intense suffering has been offered.
Because
so.
The reason I think this matters is because, so if we take away the mystical right now, there's just a ton of people. I mean, again, like we joke, like 200 people will see this episode ever. But out of those 200 people, the majority of them have gone through, and almost 100% of us will go through really heavy times.
Yeah.
And for me, as of late, to get up in the morning and to know, listen, this day is not what you think it is. The day that you're facing is not the day you think you're facing. It's going to be a crap storm, and it's not going to get better, and it's going to be confusing. And no, Nick, your intellect is not equipped to handle what you're about to face today, and you're not equipped in any way. And so the day will seem like a failure at the end, and it won't get better tomorrow. But that's just the way it looks to you. That if you'll enter into today, if you'll swing your feet off the bed and just offer this day to me, you don't need to know what I'm doing with it, but I will lessen somebody else's pain because of yours. I will do it. You don't ever get to know till heaven, till eternity. So it seems to me like that would make sense if we go deep into the Catholic theology, that we're a part of the same body.
Yeah.
Kevin, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, even if we don't go into it deeply or understand it deeply, like myself, have no understanding of it. What I do have is the church unequivocally teaching us that we have to suffer. And what I have is the testimony of the saints, time and time again, especially modern saints who, we have pictures of and sometimes even videos of, where it's like these saints clearly are telling us your suffering can either be wasted or it can be redemptive.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, oh man, there's a chance that at the end of the world, I will get to see all of the wasted suffering that I went through that could have been used. For the case of like those of us who, if we're with God forever in heaven, we'll get to see all of the redemptive suffering, is my assumption. For those of us who have chosen a life of isolation, an eternity of isolation, we'll see all the suffering we wasted. Because suffering is the ultimate linchpin of history in the universe. So everything is going to be measured to the left or the right of that ultimate suffering on the cross.
And you gotta, if you think about it for like half a second, you see like the brilliance. It's like, it's just that all things work together for the good of them who love God. Like God looked at the world and saw sin, knew it was going to happen, and sin enters into the world. And even with that, God is like, okay, now love is going to hurt. And so, but the thing is, when he if so much of the world is suffering and God looked at that and said, no, I got it, then there's no aspect of human existence that can't be completely redemptive at that point. There's no aspect that is like, I don't get it. Because, you hear people say like the problem of pain, and C.S. Lewis wrote about it in his book.
Problem of Pain.
Problem of pain is the greatest cause of atheism. But I think that's partially because the Catholic understanding of it is so unspoken. Because it seems to me
that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It is like, whew, hush. Let's pretend we don't have to suffer. Let's pretend we only have to suffer a little bit. And we'll try not to talk about it. Even though everybody in the pews dealing with crazy crap, we're just going to gloss it all over.
Yeah.
Even though our neighbors are suffering, we're just going to gloss it all over.
And gloss it over. And the thing is, then you see, okay, the balance is, then you're sure the Holy Spirit, the Trinity is going like, okay, you're the one true church. You got to start suffering for people. Like them waiting on you, like to
more your guardian angel just going. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I just have to put this up here. You got to interview Rich Mullins?
Dang, yo.
I don't, what? Holy
That's fun.
cow. I was in Bible college when he passed away. It was a huge thing. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, poor old Lou. It's from Chronicles of Narnia. They say it to Lucy. Oh, poor old Lou.
Poor old Lou.
Poor old Lou. Yeah. Paleocraft, you should email me at...
Margaret, we were trying to verify if this is a Fulton Sheen quote or not. So if it is...
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it's Fulton Sheen. I looked it up. I double-checked it.
Got it. I knew it. He's my hero. I have a man crush on him. Always will. Man, if you watch some of his old black and white Life is Worth Living videos on YouTube, it changes you on the inside. You're just like, oh my goodness, is this... He's kind of dressed like a vampire right now, and everything he says just makes
That's
me
what my husband says.
Want to be a better man.
My husband says that every time. Why are you listening to a vampire talk to you about faith?
But he just, when he talks, you're just like, this is true. This is the truth. And it's so honest.
So is he one who, is he a blessed or a saint or anything?
He is complicated. He is a venerable.
He's venerable.
But he was supposed to be sainted.
At this point.
Yes, it's very political. He was supposed to be sainted.
Like, how
he was supposed to, like, his day was set and they were going to saint him. And some bishops said, no, we don't want that. We don't like and like they threw up some problems. And so and then Corona beer happened. The thing.
My Corona.
Exactly. I forgot where I was for a second. And they haven't done anything since. It's very sad.
So
but he's a saint in heaven and he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Yeah. So Phil Gonzalez. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. Do you guys know about the heroic act?
I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. Phil, I'm going to give Phil a second to type.
About the heroic act of charity?
Yep.
So you're not going to tell us at all? You're just going to leave us hanging?
Well, I would just like to... Thanks, Nancy. I would just like to... I don't want to talk. I want to hear... Yeah, I don't know if Phil's probably typing right now. I heard about the heroic act.
Where did you hear about it?
I don't know. I don't remember where I first heard about it. And this was 4 years ago. It's in... I'll give it like 10 seconds and see if he's... All right. So it's when a Catholic will offer to God like everything that they've done in their lifetime, plus all of their suffering in purgatory, and they'll offer it. I mean, from what I understood, you would offer it to for somebody. I'll just leave it there. Yeah.
So was there a person that you have heard has done this? Like, is there an example of a saint doing this?
Of a saint, no. I don't know of a saint who's done it. I know somebody who told me that they did it. And then I said, if it's real, I would do it. But not a saint. No saint. So me and a dude I know. So not a saint.
That's interesting.
I didn't know it was offered into the hands of the Virgin Mary. Phil's talking about you offered. Here, let's see. There you go. You offer all the works of satisfaction into the hands of the Virgin Mary. From what I understood, it used to be a really common thing ancient wise, and it's not now.
Like so many things we don't know about.
Yeah. And
Just
I remember
in the
when I
dark.
heard it, like that idea, because again, this is at the height of like finding TOB and realizing how it saved my marriage and stuff like that. To get to a point where you realize, wait a minute, like everything good that's to my credit, I can give that away. Like, yeah, then that seems the most logical thing to do. So yeah, that from the way I heard it explained to me, it seemed like the best thing you could possibly do for like a spouse or something like that. Yeah.
I am very curious because this is a
me
concept
too.
I've not heard before.
Although I will
That's not
say,
very often.
no, when you said that, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And then I was like, oh, that's terrifying. That's a little scary.
Yeah,
Well,
that
but-
sounds
but
like
if
something
it's-
I would do badly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was like, well, that's something else I could probably mess up.
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, though. Like, all joking aside, I think that's something you can't mess up. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
that's
like,
true.
oh yeah, I'd want to do that, like, then you get to, and God takes care of the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
Paleocrat. That's where I went to after I heard about it.
Solid.
Paleocrat said the
Oh,
Catholic
nice.
Encyclopedia has an entry.
Nice.
Sweet.
Okay. Well,
So again,
if it's in
getting back to it,
if it's in New Advent, then we know it's legit. Catholic
it's
Encyclopedia,
gotta
I think,
be.
if it's in
gotta
New
be.
Advent, then it's definitely legitimate.
Yeah.
It's like gospel.
Yeah.
So I would say this, like, bring it all around because we can close it out. I don't know what time it is. It's almost midnight.
It's
That's good.
11:50.
It's late, brother.
I guess we can close with thoughts from people, but it just seems like being in the midst of, the shitstorm that we're in right now, I would say a concept of redemptive suffering and bearing one another's burdens is right now like the most encouraging thing I could think of, because that would mean that there'd be a ton of people out there maybe who are offering things to get me through what we're going through, but that what we're going through could then be offered to get somebody else through what they're going through, like that. And I think I talked about it in a prior episode, but this vision of going to mass and like think about all the brokenness in one congregation.
Yeah.
In one morning, you got the person who's trying not to get divorced, and the person who's, kid is in trouble at school, and you got the person who's addicted to porn, and you got all the brokenness in one congregation, and how just by being there with each other, we bear each other up without ever knowing it. We don't give each other credit for it. But I just think, that concept alone can encourage you. And then if you add in the great cloud of witnesses that's cheering us on, I just think that I don't know if there's a better way of life than
dude, with the way that you're saying that, what that means is that we have to change the way we pray at mass individually. Like, I need to change the way I pray at mass. If what you're saying follows, I have to enter into Mass differently and pray at Mass differently. And that also means I need to approach my day differently, hour by hour, and stop wasting so much time. And I mean in the sense of wasting so much suffering or wasting so much inconvenience or whatever comes along the way.
Yeah.
Well, because if I can be honest, here in town we have a Wednesday night Mass. It's a 6 o'clock Mass, and Jacelyn, whose heart is after Jesus, wants to go every Wednesday. And I stinking hate going to Mass with my family in the evenings. Sunday morning Masses are great. They're kind of lethargic. They're not woken up yet. It's fine. Like, they're a little docile. Wednesday night Masses are wretched. They're terrible. We've been late for every Mass we've ever gone to with our children. You know how I know? Because we showed up last night to Mass. We showed up early for confessions. I'm sitting there with my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old. And my 4-year-old looks at me and says, "Is no one else coming to church?" And I said, "No, you've just never been to church early where there are no other people yet, man. Like, this is what it's like for normal humans." And Mass began, and it was a crap storm. It was yelling. It was 3 different kids crying, kicking, yelling. I was in the cry room away from my wife. Like, it was all just terrible. But again, I was able to, like, for the first time ever, actually, I was in the cry room alone. I turned the light off. I was in the dark, just crying. And the kids are, flipping chairs and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but if this is true, what we're talking about, then I can just take this moment. I can just receive this moment is a better way to say it. I can just receive now. It isn't anything I thought a prayerful moment would be. And I can just offer it up for any parent who maybe is really, truly struggling with their kids and really, truly struggling to get to Mass and really, truly, struggling not to abuse and all that. Just offer it. And it was finally a good Wednesday night Mass. So, yeah.
I too can really empathize with you when they once again play that wonderful song, "Gather Us In," or whatever crap song they decide to sing.
Dance to the light around you.
We are the church. Let's talk about ourselves.
So good. So deep.
It's true. Those are good points.
We went to our first, we brought our kids to our first, not our first, but their first Misa Cantata, which is an old rite Mass that's sung with chant. And it was last week, and it was bad. It went real bad. When we went up for communion, our 3-year-old daughter stormed off behind, like, we're kneeling down, and she is pacing back and forth behind us, like, yelling at us. And it was like quick receive, and then my wife like dragged her back down the aisle because she wouldn't walk, but she also wouldn't be picked up. It was one of those things. It's like nothing worked.
Yeah.
I love it when you get to the end and, like, the senior citizens, when they come up and say, "You have a beautiful family," you just know what they mean. You're like, that they're like, "You made it and it's okay." Like, don't hurt them. It's going to be okay.
It means they've been there. It means they've lived through it, like so many people have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not unique.
Okay, Kevin. So listen, it's 1 minute to midnight. We're going to close tonight. Our editor, Jesse, made a new intro with the new logo in there. So we'll close with that. But
that's fun.
Yeah. So I'll have to share screen and stuff. But Kevin, would you be willing to close this out with a toast?
I will. We always end with a toast. For those of you who are tuning your first time, you can check out all of our Old Fashioned Catholics on YouTube. We'd love to have new guests on all the time. So hit us up via email. This toast is for all of the guests who have graced us with their insight and their presence over the last year, and for all of those who have found some nugget of growth or, Catholic wisdom in any of the conversations that have happened. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Oh, there.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Haley.
Share that.
Let's see it, Nick.
Share that screen. Here we go. Good to see you.
And
we'll close it with this. And we'll go. Oops. There we go. And I'll play it.
Is it going to have sound?
Is there sound?
No, go back to the beginning.
There, we'll go back to the beginning.
There's no sound. You have to
There's
import
not?
the sound. You have to import the sound separately. There's like a button to like share the sound.
Well, I don't know if there is in this one, in StreamYard.
Yeah, let me try.
Okay, you go for it. How can you share my window, man?
I don't know. Is it not gonna let me?
Ooh,
Might not work, buddy.
all right. Well, you can see there it is.
I guess we'll see it next time.
It's just right there. It's just laid over. Paleocraft says in StreamYard, yes.
Yeah, we're newbies to StreamYard, Paleocrat. Our apologies.
So there's no sound, huh?
Nope.
All right.
It's supposed to.
Well, then we'll just stop.
All right. Close it out. God bless, brother.
All right. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.